I'm Eric Wilson with Keysight Technologies. Today I will show you how to access the FPGA in one of our arbitrary waveform generator or digitizer modules so that you can customize the module for your specific application. Here is a Keysight PXI chassis with 18 slots. The first slot contains the chassis controller, and our programmable FPGA module is in slots 4 and 5. In the following tutorial, we will be using the graphical programming environment PathWave FPGA, which runs on your laptop or desktop PC to configure the FPGA in the module.
In this tutorial, I will demonstrate how to create a PathWave FPGA project for the M3102A BSP. To get started, launch PathWave FPGA from the Start menu and select File, New Hardware Project. The new project wizard will show up and you'll be presented with the project name page where you can choose a project name or a project location. I will be using the default project name and project location for this example. Click the next button to get to the project type page where you can choose a board support package. I will be using the M3102A BSP for this example. Click the next button to get to the project options page where you can choose a board configuration for your BSP. I will be using the M3102A channel 4 very fixed clock K32 FPGA option for this module. Click the next button to get to the project template page where you can choose a default template for your project or a blank template. The default template has IP blocks already loaded on the design, and the blank template does not have any IP blocks on the design canvas. Click the next button to get to the project summary page where you will be presented with a list of options that you selected on the previous pages. Click the finish button to create a default template for the M3102A. The M3102A is a digitizer module, so it uses the analog trigger and trigger selector IP blocks. The front panel connector, the input on the front panel connector goes to the analog channel input port, which then goes to the analog trigger block, and then the trigger selector block will select which input to trigger on. PathWave FPGA also comes with sandbox I/O that you can use in your design. You have the analog channel inputs and the analog outputs, along with some PXI trigger signals and some front panel trigger signals that you can use in your design. PathWave FPGA also comes with real-time HVI interfaces that you can add to your design. Or you can also add the system interfaces, which are the clock signals and the reset signal and some synchronization signals. PathWave FPGA comes preloaded with some IP repositories that you can use in your design. There is a basic IP repository that contains some IP blocks like a combiner and a concat block, and delay blocks, or some registers, and also the BSP IP, which is the analog trigger and the trigger selector blocks. PathWave FPGA also comes with some blocks for converting between analog or between AXI interfaces and our PCMEM interface. Or we have some math IP blocks that you can use in your design, some adders or integrators and multipliers. Or if you need to use some memory IP blocks, we have some memory blocks that you can use in your design. When your design is ready to be built, you can click on the Generate Bit File button on the toolbar, and this will bring up the FPGA hardware build dialog box, where you can choose the build type to be either synthesis, implementation, or implement from DCP. Implement from DCP allows you to provide a pre-built sandbox DCP file or pre-synthesized sandbox DCP file that you can use in PathWave FPGA for just the implementation stage. When you are ready to build your FPGA image, you can click the Run button, and PathWave FPGA will generate a bit file for your module.